The Centers for Disease Control released new statistics on their autism surveillance in 2015, which stated that 1 in 68 children born in the United States today is somewhere on the autism spectrum. However, a new government survey of parents conducted in 2014 by the National Center of Health Statistics suggests that actually it's 1 in 45 children, ages 3 years old to 17 years old, born in America today, is diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder, or an ASD. Moreover, the CDC insists that the rates of autism in America have stabilized to 1 in 68 and does not recognize the results of any other independent surveillance study. I believe that the CDC is one of the most corrupt entities on planet Earth. Therefore, I am more inclined to trust the research conducted by a non-federally funded organization. Regardless of whichever studies you agree with, the fact still remains that we must solve the autism puzzle for those individuals currently living with autism. The American mainstream media, federal government, CDC, and the NIH have all failed the American public over the last 40 years by refusing to appropriately and aggressively educate the general public on autism-related topics. I often hear autism described as a gigantic puzzle, and in order to figure it out, we have to find all the pieces and how they fit together. I read a quote on a student's t-shirt one day that said, "The best part about puzzles is that there's always a solution." I think of each child with autism as a separate puzzle to be solved, and there's always a solution. You just have to look for it, and the solution is to try and figure out what works for them. It's important to understand how they see the world. People with autism see the world in pictures instead of words or text. This is the world told in pictures, or this is the world seen through pictures. Once you find all these pieces and you start seeing how they fit and you start putting them together, you can see that the end result is something really fantastic. It's important to remember that people are not their disability. They are a person first who happens to have a disability, regardless of what that disability is. If that happens to be autism, Asperger's syndrome, sensory processing disorder, whatever. The person's not their disability. So it is really important to stress that, because once we can kind of get over that hump and we can just see the individual for who they are and be able to slowly put the pieces together to solve this person as a puzzle, as a whole. And, they have a lot of potential that they can contribute, and we just need to be more positive and supportive of that. And that's why our society is going to have to start embracing this population. Now that we're going to start having these larger waves of students graduating from high school that are on the autism spectrum, they're going to be entering our society, and we need to make space for them. is Chandy Zabarth, and I'm a full-time paraprofessional at an autism therapeutic day school, which means that all the kids that attend our school have a primary diagnosis of autism. We do not have any neurotypical general education students at our school. And the population that I work with are teens and young adults. Prior to this, I worked in the Chicago Public Schools, where I worked with students that were on the spectrum, primarily elementary and middle schoolers. So this is quite a change for me. To put it briefly, autism is a developmental disorder that impairs a person's cognition, communication, and social interactions.
P is for pencil. Hey, she gave you this to wipe the table off. Roberto the robot. All right, what's next? S. Where's S? Looks like a purple star. Tie. That's what we wear around our neck. Well, guys do when we're getting dressed.
The severity, it depends on where the individual is on the spectrum. And right now, the autism spectrum is pretty large. They have so much potential, and they have so much to contribute in this world. And they teach other people, the adults around them, a lot. How to be patient, how to be less self-centered, how to be more compassionate.
Walk. Okay, should we walk?
I want to preface by saying I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything. I'm not a medical doctor, a scientific researcher, or some, Ivy League scholar. Okay, I'm not. I just consider myself just a regular person. I've had experience for several years now working with kids with autism, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from them, and so I think that if I can share what I learned with other people to increase their level of understanding of what autism is and how these kids see the world, it could make a difference. Maybe not a very big difference, but if I can reach some people and let them know that, if your child, your son or your daughter has autism or receives that diagnosis in the future, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot that can be done. There are so many early intervention programs that are online now, new and evolving therapies, medications that have come along. There are therapeutic day schools, there are autism classrooms in schools.
Provide visual answers. Create visual work and include visual answers in pictures.
All right, ready? What are your healthy habits? I know I can what? What is he doing? Sleep. I know, I can. Sleep. Alright. Now what? I know, I can. I know, I can. What? What are our choices? This is... I know I can brush my teeth. That's our healthy habit. Alright, let's turn the page. Out of nose. Here we go. I know I can. What do? We... After we... Over here. Come on. What do we do? What are our choices? Over here. I know I can wash my hands. We always wash our hands. Alright, what's another healthy habit? What is he doing in the picture? I don't know. I know I can. I can what? I know I can what? I don't know. What are we doing? I know I can. I know I can. What is he doing? What is he doing? Is he exercising? Is he flossing his teeth, taking a shower, washing his face, or shampooing his hair? Is that what he's doing? Shampooing his hair? What is he doing? I know I can wash my face. Floss my teeth. I can shower every day, right? We take showers every day. What else? And what do we do in the shower? What do we do in the shower? We shampoo our hair. Excellent. What is he doing? I know, I can exercise. Looks like he's doing a jumping jack. All right, finish.
Applied behavior analysis using task analysis. Task analysis is basically a way to break down more complex tasks into a sequence of much smaller steps or actions in order to complete the whole. For example, washing your hands. Teaching a child with autism to wash their hands appropriately from beginning, middle to end requires breaking down each step into much smaller parts until they complete the whole entire action at one time. we have to go through life skills because obviously life skills are very important, such as hygiene. Toileting, not all students or children with autism are potty trained. Many of them still wear diapers that have to be changed regularly. Structure. Visual daily schedules. It's very important for people with autism to have a daily schedule that's visual and that it's easy to understand. These can be smaller portable schedules, or they could be large stationary schedules that are mounted on a wall in a classroom, bathroom, bedroom, etc. It's important to learn to break down the schedule into small parts. For example, hygiene is very important. So, waking up every day, brushing your teeth, being able to get dressed, combing your hair, putting on deodorant if you're a teenager, washing your hands. All of those things are very important to be done on a daily basis. Showering, making sure you're clean, and then going on to whatever it is that is asked for you next. What is the next task in the day? If they have a class, like whether it's reading or science, then they have recess or lunch, a snack period, a leisure break, and then some sort of job responsibility, whether it's taking out the garbage or learning to clean a table or to do laundry on your own before packing up and going home. Routines would have to be every day for no matter where you live or where you go to school. All of those things are important. So to have a schedule that's on the wall, that's visual, that has pictures, but having that picture or the symbol that they understand, they can look at the schedule, follow it as they see fit, and then be able to hopefully at some point complete that daily routine as independently as possible so they can grow up to be more independent adults.
Daily routines. It's important for people with autism to conduct their day around a daily routine where there are very small, subtle changes that can occur within that daily routine or schedule. But for the most part, it is important to go through the routine step by step throughout the day.
Communication, how to use PECS. PECS, P-E-C-S, stands for Picture Exchange Communication System. The pictures substitute words. Instead of showing a printed word or speaking a word in any language, substitute that with a small picture. For example, we have pictures of kids at recess or a bus 2.2. Showing a picture of lunch could be a way to communicate that the child or person with autism is hungry and is ready for lunch.
creating your own choice boards or choice binders. These are really cool because they are portable and you can take them places. You can create your own choices by selecting your own PECS. For example, we have computer, lunch, and for the bathroom, also clothing items, depending on the weather outside. Do they need to wear gloves? A heavy jacket? In addition to that, we have for be quiet, I'm sorry, snack time, goals, put a hat on, etc. You can also create PECS using small pictures or thumbnail pictures of actual places. Places that somebody would like to go, or things that the person would like to use, or what a person may need. Whichever key symbols or items that are important to you or the person who is using the choice board or choice binder can be tailored to their specific interests. Create labels using pictures and symbols instead of words or text.
Visual aids are so important. By exchanging small pictures instead of words, the child, whether verbal or nonverbal, can communicate what it is they want, what they need, how they feel.
Emotional expressions. How do I feel? Communication. What am I saying, or what am I trying to say? How do I communicate? Well, if a child or person with autism has the ability to speak, they can use their words and speak in any language that is conducive for them. Another form of communication is American Sign Language. This is very popular in a lot of public schools. Then we have the electronic speech devices, which will speak for the child or person with autism that is not able to speak or speak well by tapping on a key or a picture that will then speak the word. And then, of course, we have PECS, which is the Picture Exchange Communications System. Of course, there's always written text. Not all children with autism are able to write and spell well enough to communicate by writing everything down, but that's also an option.
These individuals have rights. They may have disabilities, but they have rights, and those rights need to be accommodated. And it really starts in the public school system. When you're sending your kids to school, there has to be a place for them. There has to be a program for them to get better, for them to learn and grow just like their peers. And then you have to have adults that are well-staffed that can accommodate these individuals.
People with autism also have the same rights as everyone else in America. They have the right to be heard, to have their own opinion, and to exercise their First Amendment right of freedom of speech. Electronic speech.
There are a lot of students that are technologically savvy enough to be able to use an electronic speech device that can actually speak for them. So they can press the small symbols or icons and be able to have the device speak what it is that they are trying to communicate. Whatever it is, I want a glass of water, I'm thirsty, I feel sad.
There are plenty of electronic speech devices available for pretty much any ability level. In addition to that, there are also several different types of software applications or apps that are available to be downloaded or installed on these electronic speech devices. Each app has a variety of different choices and features. You can self-program to include the choices or the items or interests that are specific to each person. So no device will look the same because each person will program it differently to make choices specific to their own life and what their likes are, dislikes, etc.
Hello. Good morning. How are you? I feel pain. Head. Chin. Forehead. I want to watch cartoons. Toy. Snacks. Brownie. Cookie. I. Shirt. Water. Candy. Cookie.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. Sorry. Will you get white bread? I like eat to eat banana. I'd like to eat banana.
Electronic speech devices vary by ability level, so you can change the amount of choices by either increasing or decreasing them to make the device a little more simpler to use, or for someone that's more advanced, you can give them more categories, more menu items, etc. Perhaps the user of this device only needs 5 choices for beverages: water, orange juice, apple juice, milk, or coconut water.
Hello. Yes. I need help. I need a break. Apple juice. Yes. No. I feel happy. I feel tired. I feel excited. banana, popcorn, waffle, glitter bottle, chewy,
Those eventually can graduate to an electronic speech device, but then again, those are also expensive. A school district may provide them, and others don't. Parents can purchase them on their own, out of their personal budget, and others can't afford it. So regardless if you can get to that level or not cognitively, there's that financial aspect. So if that's not a possibility and the student's not verbal, if the child is not verbal, then the picture change system is probably the most helpful way to communicate, other than American Sign Language. American Sign Language is another fantastic way to communicate. But when you go out into public or you're in a social environment, other people there may not know American Sign Language or be able to communicate those signs, hand signals, and symbols to those people. Now, the PECS system is a little more specific and has words on it as well as a symbol, so that could help other people within that social setting be able to communicate with that individual a lot easier.
Social skills, interactions with others.
Kids with autism, or people with autism are generally, because they see the world through pictures, they are more visual learners. So the more that they can do with visual aids, such as social stories, they can use that to help understand and process what it is that you are trying to communicate. Social stories are very helpful because you can teach very important lessons to be learned about how to use something appropriately or how to conduct yourself appropriately. And they can see it not just through the word, but through the small pictures, so it is easier to understand.
When I need a break. In the basement. I can ask a teacher. Sometimes I may have to wait. To go in the basement. This is okay. I will get my break. If I leave the room early, I will not get my break.
Should people ask you if they may look in your things? No, of course not. Not without a warrant or probable cause.
Socialization is very important too. It's definitely something that a neurotypical person takes for granted, to be able to go out into the community and be able to socialize in a very socially acceptable manner.
A list of classroom rules and social norms is also helpful. Keep a calm, quiet voice, respect classroom materials, follow directions, use your words, and have kind actions, hands to self.
This becomes very important once the child is, late teens and is entering early adulthood. There are a lot of social norms that need to be communicated. So when they go out into public and other people are not aware that this person has a disability or a disability like autism, they need to be able to conduct themselves that is both safe for them but also appropriate. For example, they can't just start masturbating at a public playground where there are kids present. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. When they go into a grocery store, they have to remember that you have to pay for what it is you want. You have to take out money or your credit card or debit card, etc., and pay for it. Taking something off the shelf because you want it and walking out the door is going to get you arrested.
Cooking. What can I make? Having kids prepare themselves a meal, something as simple as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, can be done by using visual instructions. using verbal instructions and trying to explain or articulate the steps and gathering the ingredients, etc., is not always possible for somebody to understand if they have autism. But by seeing the visual pictures that they understand, which represent the items that they need and the steps they must do in order to complete the task of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, can be easily done. Something as easy as making a grilled cheese sandwich can also be done by simplifying the steps into pictures in order and showing the steps of how to complete the task in a very safe but very specific manner can be done. And by using visual instructions, not just with cooking, but with completing other tasks, can help a child or individual with autism become more independent.
I need a spoon, mug, hot chocolate packet, microwave, whipped cream. How to make hot chocolate. Wash hands, get a mug, get a spoon. Tear open hot chocolate packet, pour hot chocolate in mug. Pour water into mug. Stir. Put mug in microwave. Set the microwave for 1 minute. Please wait. Get mug out of microwave. Put whipped cream on hot chocolate. It's time to drink hot chocolate. Time to clean up. When you are finished, wipe hands, wipe mouth. Clear the table, wipe the table, dry the table. Finished.
Learning goals and objectives. Students will be able to do what exactly? putting it all together.
It's a stressful job, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's draining. I come home and I'm really tired. I just want to take a hot shower and lie down and just hide under my covers for like 2 hours before I'm ready to go out and face the world again. But it's a rewarding job. I mean, I enjoy going there. I enjoy working with the kids. I learn something new every single day about myself, about them, about the world, and trying to be able to put yourself in their perspective and how they see the world. It's really fascinating. The world of autism is something that we don't fully understand. Perhaps if I had my own kids at home, I would. I don't know. But each child is just very unique and has their own unique challenges and quirks and personality traits that really makes them special. They're all really special in their own way. Their positive aspects definitely outweigh some of the negative behaviors or stereotypes that people associate with autism or people with autism. I work every day with these kids, and I get to go home to an environment where there is no autism. And they are two totally different universes. And it's really hard to sometimes articulate with other adults in my life, you know, what my daily life is like, what we go through every day at work. Alright, which ones do you want to use? Okay, what else? What else do we use to communicate? Okay, wherever you want to put it. Alright, good stuff, guys. Just how different the world of autism is. You know, repeating something 150 to 200 times a day to the same kid because he doesn't remember. Being aware of all these sensory issues, making sure that, you know, the volume in the room is not too loud, the lighting in the room is not too bright. All of these little accommodations, and then when you leave that world and you go out into the public, it's difficult to go from such a modified setting to the outside world where nobody has awareness, nobody is accommodating to these individuals.
What is happening in America in 2018? The California Department of Education has released a study showing that the California public school students that are diagnosed with autism has dramatically increased from 2001 to 2016. However, the autism rates in America vary slightly by state. For example, Alabama has the lowest reported rate of autism in the nation, with 1 out of every 175 children. Now compare this to a state like New Jersey, which has a reported autism rate of 1 out of every 46 children.
Classrooms are filling up
schools all across America in self-contained autism classrooms. Autism therapeutic day schools are running out of space. They're running out of money, and they don't have adequate staff to be able to support these individuals to the best of their abilities.
While on the train commuting, I often think about what our public education system will look like by 2025 or 2030. 2030, what is the bigger picture? There is one organization called Talk About Curing Autism, which often releases information on current studies. Recently, they published an article about the annual costs of autism on our society. Along with the rising rates of autism comes the rising costs in autism-related expenses. Their study has projected the new cost on our society by 2025 to reach $1 trillion annually. That's only if the autism rates continue to stabilize at 168. If they are at 145 or get higher, these costs will also get higher.
What is the solution? Well, the solution is going to be more funding and more understanding, and it's just an overall societal change. Starting with probably pop culture and our mainstream media. We need to start having more programs and more television shows talking about autism-related topics. Whether it's having TV shows with characters that have disabilities, such as autism, that may be nonverbal, and Sesame Street actually has a character with autism named Julia, which is a start, but it took 40 years to get here. Sesame Street's on the right track, but what about all the other networks that could have shows? Cable networks, regular television networks, they too should be broadcasting more shows and having more news broadcasts and information about autism and autism-related topics, especially those that are more positive, and staying away from, the negativity, some of the stereotypes, or some of that fatalism kind of mentality that if you have a child with autism, that's it, your family's ruined and you are ruined, the child's ruined. No. Everyone has potential, and it's just a matter of unlocking that potential.
I think about how long is it going to take our society to wake up and make the appropriate adjustments to accommodate this rapidly growing population of kids with autism.
These kids are going to become teenagers, which are then going to become young adults, which are then eventually going to be in the adult population. So we have to help them with their skills with these early intervention programs now, while they are younger, so they can use those skills and have a higher quality of life. Because regardless, if that doesn't happen, the public support safety nets are going to have to kick in to support them from 22 or 23 until age 60, 70, or 80. Whether it be in a group home or large residential facility, nursing homes, etc. That's something we're going to have to think about that. And then of course,
on the state, local, and federal level, there needs to be funding.